You're ready to be seen. You're ready to be heard. You're ready to be understood the first time. For some of you, you've been struggling with communication, throat chakra energy. It's bringing to mind the idea of like trying to get the words just right, trying to tiptoe around other people's feelings, which is taking away from the impact of the message itself. So you could be working on a creative project, podcast, writing a book, social media account, trying to step into that energy of being a public figure, being an influencer, and there's a sense of like, I don't want to upset fragile egos, I don't want to mince words, I don't want to have anyone get the wrong impression. For others of you, this has to do with like a necessary conversation, a confrontation for some people, the energies of asking for a raise or advocating for yourself in the workspace or maybe even within like a home environment. So some of you may be having strained communication with a partner, or this could have to do with, family, extended family. And there's a sense of, there's a power inside of you in the messiness of your authenticity, letting your soul speak for you rather than trying to control the narrative so much or control the nature of how these words come out that's going to hit home. The phrase unleash yourself is coming out. And so there's something where like all of your preparation, it's just kind of, it's stifling the intensity and the power of what you can say, how that needs to be expressed very organically. Just unleash yourself. Trust in yourself enough that if you get emotional, for some of you, this may even be something where you're trying to express something, but you're like, I don't want to break down and cry. I don't want to show weakness. I need to just be very stoic. I need to just be very firm in my position. I need to be the peacekeeper in the situation. And there's a sense of like a karmic cycle at play, maybe something from your childhood and upbringing where you had to kind of silence yourself or you were silenced by your primary caregivers or others within the household. This could have to do with the role that you've taken on or that others have imposed upon you in your life in general. Diluting yourself down, diminishing yourself, being very fearful of your authentic expression. For someone, it's fearful of your own anger. And so there's a sense that you stand at a threshold right now where it's more than just about what this energy of expression, what this energy of like putting yourself out there, asking for what you want, demanding what you want, advocating for yourself, expressing yourself clearly, stating your needs, making sure your feelings or your thoughts or opinions are heard. It's more than just about like the immediate subject matter. This is something where it's almost like you free yourself with that truth. You free yourself with that authentic expression, with that authentic communication. But you're also completing a karmic cycle. You're extracting yourself from a karmic loop that has kept you stuck, that has kept you playing small with your life, that in some sort of way has fed into almost like a current of like a lack mentality, the energy of lack. Having desire for something more, something else, but being afraid to like speak up and ask for that. Or afraid of kind of the loudness that will be presented when you get what you want. And so whatever this is that's happening right now, wherever this is that you are at in terms of like maybe you're overthinking, you're in your head a lot. For some of you, you could be kind of like withdrawn in hermit mode, sort of trying to fine tune whatever this communication is. Or for some of you, you're in the midst of like conflict with others and it's just kind of going round and round. Same story, different day. And there's a sense of like you need to shout. You need to advocate for yourself. Obviously mature communication, thoughtful communication, but there's something where you need to not hold yourself back. And your message is going to be far more effective than if you continue to try and just sort of dilute it down or monitor yourself in some sort of way. So this may be an exercise in trust. Trusting yourself not to self-sabotage as you are speaking life into whatever it is that you want to change within your circumstance, whatever you want to call into your reality, or you're wanting to, discontinue as part of that theme of the way in which you're living your life on a daily basis, or something that kind of has you stuck at this moment in time. For others of you, this again speaks to kind of like coming out of your comfort zone, coming out of your shell in some sort of way, putting yourself out there in a way that like, yeah, it's going to be visible. You're going to be seen. You're going to be heard. You're going to be understood. And for someone, that's really scary. For a lot of you, that might really be scary. When you've been trained to be misunderstood, you're used to having, your needs and your wants and your opinions kind of dismissed or undervalued. That concept of like, okay, I'm actually taken seriously. Okay, I can actually speak my truth and the world won't fall away. It'll lean forward in its seat and it will listen. That is terrifying. That's that step into the unknown. That's that energy of like what you've wanted to experience, that balance, that harmony, that level of respect that might have been elusive up to now. It comes towards you. But when it's right there in the palm of your hand, you're like, what now? How do I navigate in this? What do I do? Because I'm so used to being overlooked, undervalued, or dismissed. Yeah, we have create your own paradise. So you're at the brink of a very powerful change. The power is in your hands to make that change for yourself. And it doesn't happen by moving quietly. You've moved in silence long enough. And this is the time for you to speak, for you to advocate for yourself, for you to get your message out there, get your truth out there, get your story out there. This can be the energy of rebranding, introducing the world to this version of you that may be very different from what others have been accustomed to. There could be a fear of ruffling feathers, a fear of disappointing people. For some of you, this energy of communication involves like setting boundaries, saying no being a complete sentence. For others, it can be asking for help, approaching others like for collaboration. There can be aspects of trust involved in this, the trust of being vulnerable with another, the trust of inviting others in, allowing others in, accepting assistance and help. Some of you may be very independent, very headstrong. You had to figure a lot of things out on your own. And so that idea of involving others in this process of wherever you're at right now or moving forward, that can be something that also is triggering like a karmic cycle for you. You either stay stuck in the familiar loop and pattern and watch that paradise kind of pass you by, or you speak life into that willingness of, I'm going to move forward even with the fear. I'm going to speak that truth even if my voice shakes. I'm going to ask for what I want. I'm going to make my needs known. I'm going to create that heaven on earth for myself in the here and now through the power of the spoken word, through the power of the written word, through the power of rewriting the script of my life in accordance to what feels right with this version of me, as opposed to what previous versions of myself co-signed for or found themselves in the midst of. So this is the energy of like shedding a version of yourself or how you've moved through the world in relation to what you've allowed to be seen, what you've allowed yourself to express, and almost needing to sort of take a moment to be very compassionate with yourself about that, about this kind of trepidation that you're feeling. But this isn't a moment for hesitation. It's like the time is now. The power is in this moment to speak life into this new chapter of your reality that is waiting for you, that's beckoning to you. Yeah, we have laugh with life. So it feels like with this energy of like something that needs to be communicated, something that needs to be said, or just a new way of communicating in general for you, a new way of expressing yourself in general for you, that it might be kind of wobbly at first, might be kind of scary, you might stutter, you might stumble, but there's a sense of like you're going to get your rhythm, you're going to get your flow, you're going to get exactly what you asked for, exactly what you wanted, and it's going to be beautiful. And you're going to look back at this energy of hesitation and you're going to laugh. Like, what was I so afraid of? It's everything I wanted. It's everything I've worked hard for. It's everything I dreamed it would be. And so when you reach that point, that pinnacle in the journey, just up ahead, just on the other side of this very empowered communication, or maybe even a promise or a vow that you make to yourself, like from this moment forward, I am empowering the way in which I communicate with myself, the energy of self-talk, the way in which I express myself outwardly to others, communication with the world at large, with the way you allow others to communicate with you as well, healthy boundaries in that sense. For some of you, you may need to stand up or advocate for yourself, for people that have taken too much leeway. They got too comfortable kind of just talking to you however, treating you however, maybe even just dismissing you as an afterthought. You know, for some, this is going to be the energy of like giving ultimatums, pushing back when you are pushed. And you're going to laugh because what may seem like you're up against this Goliath, it's going to be something that just, it topples over so easily. You're going to feel great when you unleash yourself in this very empowered way. And the universe as well is going to respond to you differently. What you're communicating out now in a variety of ways at this point, what you are allowing to be communicated to you. This can also indicate kind of like switching from, you know, you're taking things to heart, you're taking things personally. You're switching onto observer mode. You're observing, you're not absorbing. And this is going to be a game changer for you. You're going to laugh to yourself and you're like, gosh, why didn't I do this years ago? This feels great. This feels good. This feels in alignment with like the real me. Yeah, radiate true color. So this is the energy of like your wings are ready. You're ready to spread your wings and fly. Your time as a caterpillar has expired. You are a butterfly. It is time to spread those wings. Let yourself be seen in this vibrance, in all of this glory as your redefined self. And the way in which you communicate, how that translates out, even silently in the way you're presenting yourself to the world in general, that's a form of communication. All of that is well served, like you serve yourself by turning things up a notch, not diluting yourself anymore, not hiding anymore, not shrinking yourself down, letting your true colors be seen, and trusting that whoever is triggered or whatever is triggered, whatever kind of falls away from your life, takes a step back or rejects you, it isn't meant to rise with you to this next level. This is a very freeing time. It's a very liberating time. That idea of the truth shall set you free. And for some of you, this is the energy of like, the truth is you're withdrawing communication. You're withholding communication. You're shutting it down with things that have only systematically like depleted you or made you feel rotten, made you feel horrible, made you feel bad about yourself. This is putting that wall in, drawing that line in the sand, letting silence speak for you. And for others, this is like, you need to speak up. You need to say something because no one's coming to save you. No one's going to advocate for you, or people and circumstances have become accustomed to like talking to you in a certain way, treating you in a certain way. And this is the time where if you want something to change, you got to do it yourself. Trusting in your power to communicate effectively, working on those throat chakra blockages in a variety of ways. And it feels like beyond kind of like solfeggios and meditations and, you know, working with blue crystals or, you know, things of that nature, there's a sense of almost kind of like vocalization is important. Very clear communication. Not being concerned so much with kind of like, well, what are people going to think of this? Am I going to have others that agree with me? Being okay with being that lone voice in the room. Saying things as they come to you, trusting in the filter that you've generated very naturally within through your life experiences, through times where, you ended up with your foot in your mouth, or you did end up offending someone. You said the wrong thing, somebody else took it the wrong way. This is not the time to kind of worry how you're going to be interpreted by others through their worldview and through their lens. This is a moment or an opportunity to step into a threshold of more honesty, a season of honesty. Receiving honesty from life and from others by first and foremost being very honest with yourself and honest in how you project out. And that flips the switch. That breaks you out of that cycle of shrinking down, playing it safe, playing it small, changing your communication, silencing your truth in order to make others happy, or to coddle egos, or to keep the peace. There's a sense that more peace can be had if you calm that storm of inner chaos, where you're conflicted between what you've expressed out and the truth that you hold inside. Those first couple of steps you might stumble, but the more you do that through repetition, through applying that principle of honesty in all areas of your life, you're going to find that before too long, the truth really did set you free. It freed the version of yourself you've been working on quietly behind the scenes, and you owe that to yourself. After all that time of shrinking down for the benefit of others, or being very fearful of being seen, understood, this is the time to really let that out. Really let that be known. Let the chips fall where they may. And trust that everything you are compelled to express out at this point in time is in accordance with your highest good, and it is aligning you with a more powerful timeline in your life in general, where you don't have to walk on eggshells so much in circumstances or around other people. You don't have to worry so much about, well, how's that going to sound? What should I say? What do I need to present? You'll be more in alignment with that flow state, authenticity within, radiating out. You're giving authenticity, you're receiving authenticity. And it starts with that energy of communication. So speak your truth and trust that it is the key that you hold right in the palm of your hand that will set you free. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Please give the video a like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content from me. Don't forget to hit that bell button for notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that in the description box of the video below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.